The Stock of the Day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. With over 17,000 markets and extended trading hours, turn US earnings season volatility into opportunity. Get started at IG.com.
Our stock of the day had to be a retail darling of the market, but reported this morning. JB Hi-Fi, when everyone's saying consumer discretionary is down, economy trending into a recession, jobs market looking pretty weak. JB Hi-Fi came out with a blockbuster result. Sales came in $9.6 billion, net profit $439 million. Earnings, though, decreased 11%, management taking up its ability to manage the cost of doing business despite inflationary cost pressures. Also, JB Hi-Fi has entered into an agreement to buy E&S trading company, which is basically in sort of household goods, if you like, for a cash consideration of $47.8 million. On top of all that, they're going to pay a special dividend of 80 cents a share on top of the final dividend of $1.03. And the market liked it, up 8% today at a time when retailers are out of favour. Ben, what was your... So if you look at the 11% drop in earnings and you think, oh, the market would be disappointed, but they thought it was a great result. And they've got the extra cash they're giving out as a special dividend.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good reminder that earnings season is not about how well on face value you report, it's how you report versus what the market was expecting you to report. But, you know, I listened into a bit of this call. This was a very strong, clean result. I'd summarise it as if you look at the analyst estimates, there's a number that follow this company. It was a beat on expectations, but what was the surprise was that the second half was a lot stronger than expected. And so the second half came in about 9% ahead of analyst expectations at the EBIT line. And, you know, the cash flow generation of this business was very strong as well. So, look, you know, quite amazing, $73. It's been an extraordinarily good business to own, and I think it's a good example that retailing, like it's a tough backdrop out there, but the good management teams will find a way to keep growing a business. And you know, JB's been a great example of that. Really strong balance sheet. They've got that balance sheet flexibility to pay a special dividend in a weaker period. You know, so it's a big tick.
What do you think of the acquisition, though?
It's fairly small in the scheme of things. I mean, you know, they made that move into home appliances with the Good Guys acquisition they made a number of years ago. So I guess that helps them to keep building out into that area. Look, I don't think overall it's gonna move the needle too much, but it does bulk up that part of the business.
Yeah, 10 stores in Victoria, E&S, upmarket kitchen, laundry and bathroom retailer. So fits into the Good Guys thing. So what would you do? Here is retail under pressure, environment's horrible, consumers aren't spending, unemployment's likely to go up, and here's a stock at an all-time high.
Yeah, so and I just think the narrative, you've just got to be wary of the narrative, because for this business to have actually grown its sales by 1% versus what was a very strong year the year before, where there was a lot of restocking and, you know, working from home and people fitting out home offices and all these sort of things, that's an extraordinarily good effort. So, you know, I'm not as doomsday as a lot of people in terms of being out there. I think the more results I'm seeing, and, you know, car sales is another one I point to today, that the good companies are bucking the trend, and they're fine.
So would you be buying JB Hi-Fi at these levels?
No, it's a hold at these levels. It's a great business. It's actually probably even a bit of a skin, I'd say, at these levels.
So take profits.
Take a bit of money off it, but you know, we don't own it. It's one that's got away and that I'll look back on and wish I had bought at some stage in the past. But I'd be very happy having it in my portfolio if I had bought it.
Nathan, they also reported sales for July. So the first 4 weeks of the new financial year, up 5.6% for JB Hi-Fi, 2.7% for the good guys.
Yeah, you can see why RBA said no rate cuts.
Yeah.
And you look at the sales growth and go, oh, look, these guys are one of the best retailers. They, apart from Chemist Warehouse, they shove more stuff in front of your face when you walk in per square meter than anyone else.
Yep.
They are very good at it. And they've been in the cycle. And, back in the day, the good retail analyst always told me, when rates are going up, you buy retailers. When rates are going down, you sell retailers.
Right.
They're cyclical for that reason. Now, the reason that RBA said don't expect a rate cut by December is because of this. People are still spending. Everyone is just spending on debt, and everyone's got more debt than ever before.
Yeah, but retail sales aren't as strong as JB Hi-Fi is.
No, I think JB Hi-Fi is one of those ones where people tend to buy when there are things that they want to buy, not discretionary to a certain extent. They're buying technology, they're buying gifts, and we're going through a school holiday. And the biggest spender is grandparents, and the grandparents are buying for the kids, and it kind of works in that way. So has the numbers been good? Great. Now, is that going to be, it was interesting what happened with retailers after when the rate rise started to play out. Initially, they all went weak because everyone looked at forward-looking data.
Yeah.
Right? And minute that bottomed out, and then the hikes didn't go as much, and the spending didn't get curtailed, then suddenly everyone started looking at the backward-looking data. And the backward-looking data still looks great, right? And the good ones, in retail, you can see a separation. The good ones are killing it. The bad ones are collapsed, right? It got smashed in this market. So for me, it's still a thematic of what is going to happen rather than what is not. Now, the reality is, if this retail sales type number continues, RBA will have no option but to hike. Now, the RBA chief basically told you, stop spending. If you don't, I'm going to hike.
She mainly said, government, stop spending.
Well,
you're the politicians. You're the ones with the big infrastructure projects. You're keeping construction costs up. You're keeping the labour market.
They put the money into the system, and the consumers then spend it. And the reality is, most people, because they're spending pretty much everything, these things are going straight into retail.
Right.
And so in reality, it's a catch-22. If these retail sales remain strong, rates are likely to go up than down. So it's kind of a scenario.
Retail sales aren't staying strong. Yes, they are because of migration.
Inflation.
But per capita, it's...
Oh, we're in recession per capita, right? Yeah. So this is the weirdness in the cycle. So unfortunately, as long as these remain strong, RBA doesn't have. So in the sector, I think the good ones, they look at JB Hi-Fi as an example. 12 months ago, had 8% short.
Yeah.
So it's just been short covering all the way, every week.
Right.
And it's down to 2%. And I'm not surprised today with that special deal, the last 2% is getting flushed out.
Right.
So once that gets out, then people will start paying attention to valuation. The good ones have had a great run, but look at Premier Investment. They've started to go sideways in the recent months because it's priced for a fair bit.
Right.
So I think that's where we are with JB Hi-Fi.
So are you a sell?
Oh, yeah. It's a cyclical stock.
Right.
This is retail. I don't care how good you are. You're a cyclical.
Right.
Take your money, go somewhere else. Cyclical into, we're worried about US recession. If US goes, it drags everyone else. We're slow global growth. Australia gets affected. I think consumers, we're at probably close to the peak. Whether it lasts another couple of months or not is a side issue. We don't know when things start to crumble. Right. We can see the unemployment going up globally. So you got to be careful here. And if you're there, you've done really well. You should start taking profit.
Get out altogether.
I would be getting out, but most people probably won't because it's a winner and people think winners just keep running, right? Yeah. But it all comes down to the multiple in cyclicals.
All right. That's our stock of the day.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Turn volatility into opportunity this US earnings season with extended trading hours on over 110 key US shares. Get started at IG.com.